What if I told you that some mammals lay eggs? You see, we're often taught that the defining feature of a mammal is that they give birth to live young, but that isn't always the case. There's three groups of mammals. The placental mammals, that's us, humans, other primates, cows, cats, dogs, all of those types of animals. Then you've got the marsupials. Those are mammals who give birth to very, very underdeveloped young who spend a long time in a pouch growing and feeding whilst they're in that pouch. And then you've got the monotremes like the echidna and the duckbill platypus, and they give birth to soft eggs. So if the defining feature of a mammal isn't that they give birth to live young because some mammals lay eggs, then what is? Well, there's really two big features. The first is that at some point in their childhood, the babies are fed milk from the mother. The second point is that at some point during their lifetime, they have fur or hair. Now, if you stop and think about that, for most mammals, that's pretty obvious. If you think about cats and dogs, if you think about humans, that all kind of adds up. Then you start to think about things like hedgehogs, but they do have fur underneath. But then you start to think about mammals that live in the sea. Whales. Whales don't look like they have any fur, but actually at some point during their childhood development, and usually when they're born, baby whales do have a little bit of hair. So the defining characteristic of a mammal is hair or fur at some point and feeding the young milk. There's a couple of other things that are usually defining of mammals. One is really interesting, which is that the jawbone, the lower jawbone of a mammal, is connected to the skull. And that allows us to make movement up and down, but also side to side. So if you think about a camel chewing, that side to side motion is what is allowed by that connection between the lower jaw and the skull. And if you want to get really specific about it, well, mammals are everything that's descended from the last common ancestor of all mammals, which is why you get these weird groups together like monotremes, duckbill platypus laying eggs, marsupials like koalas who give birth to very, very small undeveloped young, and placental mammals, the rest of us, all lumped together in one big group. But part of that ability to adapt to their different environments is what has made mammals so successful that you can find them today all over the world, from the hottest of deserts to the coldest of polar regions.